Scrimmage today, full scrimmage, and you get 2, so today was number 2, and probably, honestly, our best day as a team all spring. Just really competitive, not a lot of just crap, with just procedure, penalties, jumping off side. ACC refs out here today. It was a very clean scrimmage, and again, very competitive on both sides, and really a good way to kind of go into this Easter break this weekend. Really proud of the guys. So, starting to get a few guys that are banged up back, and we got a little break this weekend, which will be good. So hopefully by the time we get to the game next week, we'll have pretty much as many guys as we've had in a while out this spring that can come out here and put on a show for the fans. And that's the next thing I would say is, man, I'd love to see us fill this thing up. It's a big day. We moved it. Obviously it could have been this weekend, but we moved it for Easter, and we need a great crowd here. And man, we need some energy and some excitement. We're gonna have a ton of recruits coming in, so hopefully the Tiger Nation, it's free, will show up, and let's have a great day in the Valley. It's gonna be an awesome day, and I think later on that day they're gonna retire Jack Leggett's jersey in baseball. What a cool day, to come spend here in Clemson. So hopefully we'll see everyone in the Valley on the 15th. But pleased with what we've been able to get done this spring. We look like a team that's improved today, and so I'm starting to see a little bit of leadership emerge from some young guys. That's kind of encouraging. And when we put it all together, I think it's going to be. This has got a chance to be a really good team once again, and a chance to compete, at the highest level. We know the margin for error is small, but this team will have a shot, and I'm excited about, what I've seen. If we can continue to build on it this summer and take momentum into the summer, and really what we call transformation phase, which is coming up next. And to me, the summer is when you make the biggest jump. That's when your team makes the biggest jump. You make the biggest jump as an individual if you're really about the right things and handling your business and really committed to doing what it takes. So your chemistry, the personal ownership, all those things that you need to have in a team. That's, to me, the summer is when I think that really is on full display. So excited about what we've been able to get done, and looking forward to, again, a great day in the Valley on the 15th.
Who are some of those younger guys that are stepping into leadership roles?
Man, a bunch of guys. It's across the board. Just seeing a guy like Antonio Williams, for example. I really think he's starting to respond. And just showing. Last year he's a freshman coming in here, his own thing. I think he's a guy that's showing up. Cade Klubnik has been awesome. I know he was here. He's just a young guy. First year true starter. And I love what I'm seeing out of him. His command, his complete buy-in, his energy every day, his self-awareness and his accountability. It's awesome to see. A guy like Wade Woodaz, I'm just seeing, this is a young player too, but starting to see leadership qualities in that guy. So it's just really encouraging. We all know a lot of those older guys, but when you see some of these younger guys, that are really stepping up, I'm just really proud of him. Phil Maffa, he's not necessarily a young guy, but man, I think he's had a great spring, and really just his confidence is at an all-time high, and he just he's playing with swagger, and I think the game has really slowed down for him, and really encouraged by that. I think Brenningstool, who's again been here 2 years, but he's kind of had Davis Allen there, and it's been fun to watch him just kind of step up and really try to be one of those leaders. But really all across the board, when you see some of these young guys like Peter Woods, like Shelton Lewis, some of these guys that are just showing up, Harris Sewell, who just got here, that you see good leadership qualities in them as young players. So it's encouraging. We got a bunch of good guys around here.
Who are some of the guys you come out and get healed up to play?
Well, we just got Maskell back today. He's been banged up with a little ankle, and so this is first scrimmage he's had. So getting him back. We've had a few other guys out, Cape Hard, Caden Story, from just different injury type things, and so getting them back going has been good. We got really thin at D tackle for a few practices with Caden out and Cape Hard out, and then obviously Trey as well. So and Rook. So it's good for some of those guys, but a lot of reps. So getting some of those bodies back has been really good. We've got a few guys that have kind of gotten back into practice that we're not going to let play, but they've been able to get out there and really get some really high-speed reps. Like Bo Collins, for example, he's really been able to do a lot of things practice-wise, but not quite ready to go scrimmage. And man, Adam Randall's close. He looks great. He's right there. Sheridan and JP, man, really pleased with their progress. Again, these are all postseason type things that if we were starting spring next week, those guys would have a chance to go through spring. So really just that's some of the main guys that we've been able to get back in here.
Where are Walker and Marcus at this point?
Really good, both doing great. Marcus is back in. That's another guy. He's like Bo. He's back in practice. He's back doing all the individual, all of our team stuff, separate stuff. But again, another couple weeks, he'd probably be going through spring. So he's really, in the dress of the day and kind of doing everything. But we're not letting him do any live work. So he's in a good spot, as is Walker. So all those guys are heading in the right direction for us.
Is the boot that Walker's in, is that precautionary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Dabo, I remember 2011 spring game. College boy was out here and completed 30% of his passes. Then he goes on and throws for 4,000 yards and 33 touchdowns. The spring game is not exactly always an accurate predictor of success.
You think? Yeah. That's a rule for the rest of your life. Don't let the spring game create too much excitement or too much disappointment, right? It's an inter-squad type scrimmage, and your team is split up and all that stuff. But man, what an opportunity for guys to grow, and you got kind of some guys getting bigger roles than maybe what they would have. Especially that's why it's so important that we really fill this place up as much as we can, because that's what everybody needs to understand. It's not just recruiting. We don't get preseason games, right? We don't get to a game in the spring. It's not at the NFL where you go get to play 3 preseason games and kind of create. I mean, it's great when we have a few people out here, but the spring game, it's different. It's like a game when we show up, and it just creates another level of preparation, the opportunity to really have, some preparation that you just don't get in a normal scrimmage or a normal practice. And it's such a good opportunity to grow your team and just, give some of these guys their first opportunity to feel what it feels like at this level, and nobody's played anything like this, and to really feel this. And it's not just when you show up on Labor Day night at Duke, right? And it's the first time. So the spring game is really our only opportunity to really kind of create that one preseason game type of environment, if you will. So it's just, man, I hope we have a good crowd. And I think it's great for a lot of these young guys that are going to play, for them to kind of experience that one time. And that'll go a long way for us in teaching them and further preparing them for, the season, for sure.
What have you seen from Harris that's giving you confidence to put him out there and let him run with the one song?
Strong, smart. That's probably the blessing in disguise was Marcus and Parks being out. We really know who they are. Man, they gave us an opportunity to really develop all these guys. I mean, a bunch of guys. I mean, we've had this offensive line has taken a huge step forward, as they should. We only lost one guy in J-Mac, and so they're just older, and they've been through the battles, and we really only have one senior this year in Putnam. So we got a really good group, bunch of juniors, bunch of redshirt sophomores, and then you got some really dynamic freshmen, and then a guy like Blake and Sadler, who are coming. We were able to redshirt Sadler last year. Thankfully, it kind of worked out. It wasn't our intention, but he got banged up, worked out. Those 2 young guys, but man, Harris he can just bend. He can move. He has great football IQ. He understands defense. Incredibly well coached. He is as tough as they come. He's nasty. He can play, both really 3 positions. Very athletic, and he's got the mentality. So he's a rare guy that physically and mentally it kind of matches up. And Ian Reed and Big Zach, they're exactly what you want too. But they're kind of your normal freshmen. Like your normal freshman, there's usually a deficiency somewhere. Ian, freaking tough, strong, physical, loves ball, but he's still kind of, you know, overloaded a little bit, and it's coming a little slower from an installation standpoint. And we got to get his body in a little bit better, you know, spot composition-wise. Same thing with Zach. Tough, competitive, don't back down. Exactly what you want. That big guy can move and run, and he's physical, but he can't play at 380, right? You know, he was 405, and so now he's on his way. So we get him down there. Like Peyton Page was right at 400 when he got here. So if he'll keep buying into what we're asking him to do, we're gonna look up, and that big dude is gonna be something special. So I just love those guys. But Harris, physically and mentally, he's just ready, and so he'll help this football team for sure, no doubt.
Mitchell Mays, you think he'll be back?
Yeah, same thing. He got back in practice today as well, so hopefully he'll be ready to go. He nothing major, but you know he's had to miss a few practices too. But again, almost a blessing there too. We're pretty confident in Mitchell and the progress that he's made. So it's really forced our hand with some of these guys, and it's been really good.
Is Vizzina trying to bleed down Cade's neck a little bit, providing some competition?
No, these guys are just out here, man, competing against themselves and you know, just trying to be the best version of themselves. I mean, CV's special. I mean, it's easy to see. Guy's gifted. He's only 17 years old. You know, he's a young guy. He's got a bright future. You know, Cade's been amazing. You know, Cade is just been awesome. I mean, all spring. And I tell you, Hunter Helms has had his best spring. It's been fun to watch him. I mean, he is by far the best version of Hunter Helms that we've seen. I mean, he's processing things quick. You know, really good decision maker. I don't know if you guys, I mean, if you really look at him, he's really physically kind of transformed his body, and he's really gotten himself in really great shape, which has helped him mobility wise. But he's very, very confident, and I'm really proud of him and what he's done. We just now getting Paul Tyson back. He's been in the last couple of practices. He can't go live yet because, you know, he had a thumb surgery, but he's back throwing. And I'll tell you what, he really is sharp and processes things well. And, you know, I can't wait till we can kind of cut him loose. But it's a good room, man. Trent's gotten, you know, had a really good spring, gotten a ton of reps. It's been good. And it's a good room. But, man, CV is it's slowing down for him. And now that he's here and he can go back through it this summer, and then by the time we get to fall camp, he's going to get it for the third time. That kid's just going to get better and better. So we got a really good situation.
Trent Howard said he felt like the offense started to click a little bit after the break. Did you see that, and how did they do today?
Good. I mean, you know, some good, some bad, you know, just like on the defense, some good, some bad. You know, they had a 3 and out, and they had a 17-play drive, you know, and they came back and had a turnover, you know, in the red zone. So good and bad. But as the head coach, I kind of like that, you know, because if they just win the whole day, I'm walking off the field not real happy with my defense, right? So if I was an offensive coach or a defensive coach, I'd probably have a different answer. But from my perspective and the lens I look at it, I love it when we have a day like this where there's really good and bad on both sides. It's really competitive, and you know, just seeing them all, you know, get after it out there is encouraging. But I think they've really done a nice job. I mean, staff's done an awesome job, you know, from Garrett down with just, you know, the details of what we're doing, and the guys that bought in, and just seeing what I hoped I would see in spring, and that is just kind of just getting our confidence back and getting a little swagger back in what we're doing, and it's been I've seen that, you know, and we're still missing a lot of pieces. You know, we got a lot of receivers and guys that aren't quite out here, but these guys have really bought in and are handling it well.
You've heard a lot about Cade having the freedom to tag receivers with a different route. How much have you allowed him to do that? Does he have a freedom to do that a lot, or are you kind of limiting that?
It depends on the call. I mean, but this is definitely a very quarterback-friendly offense for sure. I mean, it's very quarterback-friendly, and he's got a lot of flexibility. You know, he's got to be able to handle that, but he's demonstrated that he can, and you know, it's been fun to see it pull together. I mean, you know, philosophy-wise, we're really not any different. You know, the method really isn't any different than what we've always done, really since 2011. The biggest change is procedurally how we're doing some things, and some, you know, few tweaks here and there, whether it be how we signal, how we communicate, cadence, some some more package opportunities that the quarterback has some flexibility in. So it's been fun, man. And again, the biggest thing is just the buy-in. These guys have really bought into what we're doing, and probably I think we've gotten a lot. I mean, we've got a lot in, but it's a lot of things with complementary plays to it, and the guys are really understanding that. And Garrett's been awesome. He's done an amazing job of really getting us to this point. Where we're coming out of spring. I think really feeling pretty confident about where we're headed. I mean, we got a lot of work to do. There's a lot more we got to build on, but I think the main goal was to come out of this thing with a lot of momentum into the summer and a lot of confidence. And I've seen that.
I think Grisham said that it builds in kind of a gunslinger mentality to an extent, being able to change things at the line.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing is just you want to have a chance to be successful. You want to be able to attack where their weaknesses are. You want to have be able to take the matchups where they need to be, but you got to have a quarterback who can handle those things, and I think we've got guys that can do that. Starting with Cade, I mean, he's demonstrated really good understanding, but again, procedurally and signals, cadence, and a lot of that stuff is different, and it's been fun to see those guys take ownership of that, and it's really it I think again puts a little bit more flexibility on the quarterback, but I think it's much more friendly for him than what we're doing. It's been fun.
Sorry if I missed it, but did Cade and Adam win the egg toss?
Apparently, yes. They didn't complete the pass, but the egg didn't break, so I think they won the day.
That proves he has the softest hands, or what?
Well, I don't know. Proves that because Cade held his own too. That thing got to about 35 yards or so, but it looks like they're a good connection, a good tandem. So hopefully that's a good sign for things to come this fall.
Any reward?
Yeah, they get a accountability point, a plus accountability point. So they battle for those points. That's a good day for those two. I think both of them are already plus, so maybe they'll donate it to somebody who might need it.
It's been a little bit of a weird spring schedule-wise. So you kind of
Yep.
get 10 days before the spring game. You have maybe like a walkthrough next week. Is
Yep.
that it?
Yep.
Have you ever had a big gap like this before?
No,
spring game?
no, but it's just kind of the spring for us is all dictated by when is spring break. Our schedule's different because our guys get out the first week of May, right? So you got spring break, and then you got when's the kids' spring break, and when's Easter. So there's a lot of things that kind of dictate when we do it, and then you have a certain amount of time that you have to get the days in. And obviously, we would have liked to have done it this weekend, and we would have if it hadn't been for Easter. But we want to have a great crowd, and we want to have a bunch of recruits here, and that wouldn't have been the case. So that's really kind of just how it kind of got spread out like this. But it's going to be good. It'll be a good opportunity again for some of these guys to really, take care of their bodies and really get themselves ready to go. Some good meeting opportunity to just kind of catch up on some things and polish up on some things. And then next Wednesdays is important to practices that we have all spring. We'll be in shorts, but it's a day where we'll do a little bit of practice, like Clemson type practice, but then we really are separate, and it's the opportunity for our coaches to really teach these guys how things should go in the summer. What skills and drills should look like, how it should be run, so that we're not out there just jacking around, that it's productive, when we're not on the field with them, when it's really being run by the leadership of both sides. And again, I think that's one of those times where your team really grows. They'll start their skills and drills later on in May and a couple days a week, and then it ramps up to like 3 days a week as we get closer to camp. And it's a very important practice, to really understand what we want to do in the summer. And then we'll split the team, and everybody will, get fired up. Coach Easton's going to be a head coach. Coach Spiller's going to be a head coach, and we'll get it all sorted out. And who's orange, who's white, flipping coins and all that, and we'll have some fun, and then we'll come out here and have a great day in the Valley and put on a show for the fans.
So you're talking about freshmen having deficiencies usually. Peter was a million things about Grady. Is there any deficiency or anything?
Nope, he ain't got none, other than he's just a freshman. He don't have any. Smart, tough, strong, loves to play, high character. You know, doesn't really have any deficiencies other than he just needs to go get some game experience. That's why we need to fill this place up. Let's get Peter Woods ready to go. Get out here and yell at him and boo him or whatever. That's about it. You know, I know it's a lot on a young kid, but he's earned it. I mean, you know, he's demonstrated he can learn the playbook. I mean, he's not a complete finished version of himself, but, you know, as far as just a deficiency and something that he's lacking, it's really just game experience at this level. You know, he gets it fundamentally, he gets it technically, he understands, he's got the aptitude for it. I mean, he's still really taking full ownership, but he's gone with 1s, 2s, 3s, he's gone with every group. He's played multiple spots, and he has not been overwhelmed. So, I hadn't really seen anything that if we were playing today, he'd be playing. So, he's ready.
Has Parker been a bit of a surprise at how much he can
Nope,
handle?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we expected him to really flash. You know, he's not as physically prepared as far as just because he had a wrist injury in high school. He's had some things that have held him back a little bit, just really upper body wise. You know, he's kind of, you know, a normal freshman there, but he's naturally explosive. He's naturally strong in his lower body, and he's got a high football IQ. He's picked things up, but he can run. He's just, the biggest area for him is just he's got to attack the weight room. He's not where he needs. He's, you know, kind of a normal freshman, but just his ability to disrupt, his ability to rush, you know, his aptitude for the game. I mean, this guy played 7A football at Central Phoenix City for Coach Nix. I mean, he's you come out of that program, you're going to understand some ball. And so, and again, physically, he's a little behind upper body. Just again, he's had that wrist that he's dealt with, you know, since last year, and he hasn't really been able to do what he needs to do. But a naturally gifted player that we really thought he would flash, and the fact that he's been able to come in here and get this whole spring is really going to help him, you know, just have a clear vision of what it looks like, what he needs to do to come back in August, the best version of himself at this point. And if he'll do that, he's going to be a good one.
What are your expectations for Zaire and Cade going into year 3 at that end spot?
Yeah, well, Cade is, you know, does everything right. You know, Cade is what you want. Zaire is just growing up, being accountable to the team. He's got all the talent in the world, but he's got to make up his mind if he wants it. He's one of those guys that you know, has all the talent, but he's so inconsistent with his just preparation. He's inconsistent with his effort, inconsistent with his buy-in. And, you know, he's a young guy, but he might have had his best day today. So that was actually really good to see. You know, we need him to really take that next step. So, you know, 2 different guys right there. You know, we're the only sport at any level of football. I mean, the only level of football that doesn't get a chance to scrimmage somebody. I mean, even the pros. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to bring somebody basketball, bring somebody in and do some one-on-ones against somebody else. You know, I've said that for years. I mean, because every time you take a snap in a day like this, you're 100% invested, right? Anybody grabs an ankle, they're yours. You got 22 on the field every single snap. So yeah, I mean, I think you know, to me, it would be, you know, spring game, there'd be some interest in that, I guess. But to me, I'd rather have it in the fall camp. You know, even if it's just being able to practice against somebody, and do some inside drill against somebody else, do some one-on-one, do some 7-on-7. You know, like you see in high school. You know, they go and work against each other, you practice against each other. You see it in the pros. You know, so maybe have a day of camp embedded with somebody. I think that'd be great. You know, because again, you don't have. All we have is each other for 350 days. You know, I mean, if everything's perfect in our world, you get 15 days to like play, right? So it's the 350 that makes the difference. And there's, you know, we only got each other. That's all we got, which is good because we got a great group to work with and all that. But it'd be nice to have that opportunity somewhere along the calendar.
You mentioned Wade Woodaz as a guy who's showing some leadership. I think that Barrett and Jeremiah said that even during naturals he was pushing them. How much have you seen his confidence grow into being a more
incredible? He's going to be a special player, man. Dude had a great freshman year. He's a dynamic guy. He's learning. He's really learning the box this spring. Mike and Will. But he can play a lot of positions. I mean, a lot of positions. His background is quarterback and safety. He really just understands the game, and he is really come into his own. His body's in a great shape. He's 220-something pounds. He's strong. He can run. He's got a lot of confidence from the experience he got in the season, and he just has a presence to him, and he has a lot of respect from his teammates that he's earned. So I'm really pleased with him, and I'm pleased with Dudley too. I think Dudley's a guy that came in that group that's starting to show a little maturity. I thought he was a little silly and a little immature when he came in here, and man, he's really come on. I mean, he's had a great spring, and the other kid is Kobe McLeod. I'd probably talked as much about him, but he's really showing some progress. Gotten a lot stronger. The power hour was a great situation for him, and he's flashed this spring several times as well. But Dudley seems like he's really kind of bought in and really taken it to another level. He's going to be a guy that, same thing, got a really bright future ahead of him.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Happy